Hello, my name's Sam and you're watching my channel So Let's Sparkle with Sam, and today I'm going to do my collaboration video with the lovely Claire from Love's Red Sews and the lovely Bornella fabric that we got when we went to the Stitch Festival. So, hello there. So this is my collaboration video. Now how the collaboration came about was I had been following Claire for a little while on Instagram, and then when she started her YouTube video I followed her very closely then, and then just by happy accident we bumped into each other at the Stitch Festival, which was lovely. And then another happy accident was that we happened to both bought the same beautiful fabric, so we kind of went, hey, this is fate, maybe we should do a collaboration with the kind of different things, same fabric. So that's what we decided to do. So I'll pop a picture up here of me at the Stitch Festival buying my fabric so you can get a close look at the fabric, because I've literally got scraps of it left. So I have made my item and this is what I have left. I also have a small collar piece left, which I used to test my buttonholes on because I cut out that one by mistake. So that's literally it. That's all I've got left. So I'll pop a video up of the fabric being cut by the beautiful Tanya at Bornella Fabrics. Teeth in today, Sam. And yeah, and so because we bought the same fabric, we thought, wouldn't it be nice to kind of get together? And it has been a lovely collaboration. So Claire and I are fairly similar in stature. She's a little bit shorter than me, but we're both fairly shorties. We're very similar in age and in stature. So we thought, you know what, it would be nice for people to see. We're very different colourings. But we have decided to both buy exactly the same fabric, and I thought that was quite interesting, that actually people with very different colourings can still wear the same colours. And yeah, and so I thought it would be really nice for us to kind of have the same fabric, do different things with it, and then show you what we did with the fabric. So I hope that sounds exciting to you. So when you finish watching this, follow the link below, go and check Claire out and see what she made with her fabric. So yeah, in fact, I'm going to pop a picture of Claire up here and give you a little sneaky peek of what she made, because she might be wearing it. So yeah, so first of all, the fabric. So the fabric that we bought is called Super Bloom Cotton Poplin in green by Bornella Fabrics. And we bought it at the show, as I said, at the Stitch Festival, and it's a launcher fabric that's exclusive to Bornella Fabrics, and it's called Super Bloom. And I'll just read off the website for you. It says, a riot of colourful flowers like the garden at the height of spring, Super Bloom has a nod to retro vibes with a playful graphic floral design. And that kind of says it all, doesn't it? And that's what drew me to it. I'm really, really drawn to retro prints at the moment. I don't know what it is. I'm just really, really drawn to them. And I'm going to be really honest. It wasn't my first choice of colourway. The first choice of colourway, I'm going to pop up here. This is the one that I was drawn to straight away. But I've been doing a lot of black backgrounds recently, and I was like, no, Sam, go out of your comfort zone a little bit, choose something with more colours. And I love blue and I love green, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna go there. So and I'm really glad I did, because if I'd bought the other one, the collaboration wouldn't have worked. So yeah. So I'm really glad that I went for that colourway in the end. So yeah, so what I made. So the pattern that I made was the Fringe Dress pattern, and it's a woven dress, and it can be a dress and a blouse. So it can also have two different views, so it can have a button up front, or it can have like a open keyhole, I think is the best way to design it. I'll to describe it, I'll pop the pictures of the line drawings up so you can get a closer look. So yeah, it kind of has a notched front. The one that I went for was view A, which had the button placket down. And I love chalk and knot patterns because it gives you the different bust options. So it gives you different cup sizes. I went for the larger cup size. And also you can put optional waist ties in, which I did go for because I love a waist tie. And then the sleeves and cuffs are are interchangeable, so you can kind of do different things. You can have little tabs on them, or you can have them without. So what I'm actually wearing today is I'm wearing my Donny shirt, because I thought, oh, I don't know about you, but we've got a little bit of spring that's finally come here, so I felt like I needed a floral shirt on. So yeah, the Fringe Dress pattern. Now, this is fast becoming my favourite pattern of all time. Mainly because of the fit. I just love the fit on it. The fit on it, I've just managed to perfect the pattern, and I've managed to get a really nice fit for me. And the other thing that I really like about it is the fact that it seems that you can make it in lots and lots of different types of fabric. And I'm really experimenting with different types of fabric. So the first fringe dress that I actually made in a lovely soft floaty viscose, and I pop that up here. And I was heavily influenced by the lovely Rachel, the French Seams, who is also in this picture in her fringe dress. And she was the one that gave me the idea of making it in the cotton poplin, because hers is a cotton poplin. And I loved the way that mine flowed, and it was perfect for what I wanted. But I loved the way that hers kind of sat on her body. And I kind of thought, oh, I want a bit of that. I want to see what that looks like. So I also took from her a few of her kind of different design features, as it were, some of the changes that she made. Now, she is a lot taller than me. So I think that she did some kind of extensions of the skirts and things. I didn't have to do any of that. So what I did, instead of having the dipped hem as I did on my first fringe dress, I cut it off to make it much more A-line, because of the kind of 70s retro feel of the fabric. I felt like the A-line-ness, is that a word? The A-line shape of the dress would kind of match with, it would make it work with the fabric and the design. So yeah, and of course I've got one dipped fringe, so I thought I'll try the A-line one to see what that looks like. And I'm actually, of all of the alterations that I made, that's the one that I'm most pleased with, because I think it makes even though it's really simple and very easy, because I went from both points and I just drew a straight line. That's all I did. There, it wasn't anything clever or fancy, but I think it's made a really good difference. So a couple of other alterations that I made. Let me just go and grab my notebook. So I cut a straight size 10. In the measurements, I'm actually a 12. For my bust, but I'm a 10 for my waist and my hips. And I thought, actually, that will be okay, because they have got the full bust cup. So I went for the CD cup, and that was kind of perfect for me. Although I did have to make a small alteration at the end to allow for my bust. So when there are 2 bust darts at the back and 2 bust darts at the front, and what I popped the 2 bust darts in at the front, popped it over, as you do when you just kind of like try the bodice on to make sure everything is sitting nicely. And I found that where I'd pinned the bust darts, it was just pulling, like, it was just pulling around my bust area, and as soon as I took the pins out of the bust darts, that wasn't happening. So I did do 2 very, very tiny darts, but I made them much, much smaller, and that seemed to do the trick, because I often find that if you allow for a bit more room, for me, because I'm quite wide around my back, and if I just allow that little room at the back, that allows the room at the front for everything to sit nicely. So that was enough. I didn't feel that I needed to grade out at the bust to allow for the 12. I just felt that just letting that ease out a little bit was, and I have to say, I'm really, really happy with the fit, because I find that I am in between kind of 10 and 12, but I find that because I've got quite narrow shoulders and I am quite a petite frame, if I do the 12, everything sometimes is a bit big here. Although like I've got plenty of room for my chest, it's kind of bigger here. Whereas if I do the smaller size and allow, you know, and do a bust adjustment, or as I said, allow more room in the back, then I find that that is a better shape for me. That is something quite new that I have found about myself, because I think at my beginning of my journey, I was just making dresses that were too big for me. But you know, you live and you learn, don't you? So finally, I have found a dress that I like, and so it was a no-brainer when it came to the collaboration that this is the one that it was going to be. So making my dress, there was a few decisions that I needed to make for notions. Buttons. Now, me and Claire had a lovely time choosing buttons. We had we set up a little WhatsApp chat, and she introduced me to some fantastic little Etsy shops. Thank you very much, Claire. And yeah, and we went through, we had a lot of scrolling going through lots of different buttons. And to be honest, there was so many different choices. The fabric was brilliant for buttons. I'll just show you a few, just to show you what I mean. So my first thought was go crazy and go for a really contrasting button, because the great thing about this, you know, is that you can orange and purple, and orange and green are the opposite side of the colour wheel, so you can, you know, you can go completely crazy. So my first thought was, well, let's go crazy and do something completely different. And as much as I love these, you know, I kind of loved that idea, I was like, I'm not sure that that was the look that I was going for, but that was definitely an option. And then I thought, it's flowers, so I've got these lovely flower buttons, and I thought they might look really cute and a bit different. And because they're white, they're not kind of in your face flowers, they're kind of quite nice. But the problem with these ones is I felt that they were a little bit too big. I think if they'd have been a little bit smaller, they would have been perfect. The same goes for these. Now these are gorgeous buttons that were bought for me by my lovely friend Karen from Two Pink Shadows, and I thought they looked absolutely beautiful. I've got the purple one, and I've also got a blue one as well, which would also have gone, but they were just a tiny bit too big, so they didn't quite make the mark. And then I popped, dropped it. Then I popped these green ones on. Now these were the ones that like really started to sing to me, and it was something about the green, and like, you know, and it had a little bit of blue on, a little bit of white, and it really sung to me. And I thought, oh, they look really lovely. And then I also had can't find it now, in my stash, these green ones here. And basically what I did is I asked my husband, which one do you like the best? And he said this one. So that's what I went for in the end. I just went for a really simple green button. And actually on the finished garment, I'm really glad that that's what I did, because I think if I'd gone for the bigger buttons, it wouldn't have quite looked right. But yeah, so I went for the little green buttons. So the dress was sewn up while I was on holiday, and it was really nice because I took my sewing machine on holiday with me. I didn't sew at the beginning of the holiday because that was a very family thing, but at the end of the holiday I had a few days, just me and Simon, and that's when I decided to So I'd had my nails done special like, so I'll put a picture of those so that they match the fabric. I was very impressed with myself. And yeah, and I sewed it all whilst I was on holiday, and it was lovely because I took my sewing machine but I didn't take my overlocker. So as a consequence, all of the making of the dress, all of the kind of finishing of the seams was done on my sewing machine, and I haven't done that for the longest time because I've got an overlocker. I use my overlocker. Why would I finish it on, you know? But actually I found it really lovely, kind of that system of, you know, sewing and then resetting the sewing machine, doing that lovely zigzag stitch. It slowed me down, and because I was on holiday, I really enjoyed being slowed down. Now, that's not something you will hear me say very often. I do not enjoy being slowed down. People that slow me down, I can find quite frustrating, but that's when I've got a lot to do. But when I'm, you know, just chilling, I actually quite enjoyed that process of slowing down. Now, this is where the apologies came in. So I'm going to show you my holiday setup, my little sewing setup on holiday. And I'd love to say, and here is the lovely little video that I put together of me actually sewing it. But I did film it. Well, I thought I filmed it, but because I was on holiday, I had it all set up. And I didn't have any of my stands and stuff, so I had it all propped up, and I'd thought that I'd press the record button, but when I went back to have a look, I hadn't, and I'd kind of done all of those bits by then. So I thought, well, there's no point me filming now the end bit because I haven't filmed the beginning bit. So yeah, apologies for that, but you'll just have to believe me, I did sew it, and I have got proof because, ta-da, it is here. So this is my lovely fringe dress in this gorgeous fabric, and I popped in the ever popular label of the moment, which is the swing it, shake it, move it, made it. So yeah, that's the one that I went for. And as you can see, let's see if I can show you some of my kind of slower sewing bits and pieces. So yeah, I just kind of had to zigzag my edges. I don't know whether you can see that, rather than overlocking. But yeah, I'm very, very happy with it. And I had to do a double fold hem rather than a overlocked hem and then turn it over, which is what I normally do. But yeah, and again, so I did actually change the sleeves a little bit. I went a bit mad and did purple here, and I did white everywhere else, and I'm not quite sure why I did that, but I quite like it. So on my more floaty one, I did the tabs, but on this one, I wanted that stiffness of the sleeve, so I didn't do the tabs on this one, but I did do I did kind of like a double cut, so almost like a faux cuff on the sleeve. And yeah, and so there you go. So I'm gonna pop in a video now of me floating around in it so you can see it in its full glory. And as I said, you know, go and check out Claire and see what she has made in the same fabric. So I have to say, all in all, it was a wonderful collaboration. It was just an altogether really lovely experience, and I hope that I've made a new friend, because I've really enjoyed working with Claire. So if you ever get the chance to kind of sew with someone else, I would say go for it, because it was just a really, really lovely experience. So thank you very much, Claire. enjoyed watching that video. Thanks ever so much to Claire for joining me in the collaboration. You take care. Don't forget to sparkle. See you soon. Bye for now.